Hey y'all, happy Thursday. So today I want to look at this verse um, in the Weiss translation. This is a pretty direct Greek translation. It's not the easiest to read, but it is full of depth. So this Philippians 4 verse 6 in the Weiss translation. And it's just so clear when we read all of these. He says, stop worrying about even one thing. I don't know that he could get much plainer than that. He says, don't fret or have any anxiety about anything. Stop being pulled in different directions or worried about a thing. And then here in the Weiss, he says, stop worrying about even one thing. I'm reminded and prompted, so we're going to go there. Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. We give ourselves permission to worry. We give ourselves permission to be anxious about things. We've already read from John 14:27. Jesus said, stop it. Stop giving yourself permission. It's not a normal. We who are in Christ, we're just not normal anymore. I've had to accept that a long time ago. But let's look at this. So he says, stop worrying about even one thing. And in Matthew 6, he says, Matthew 6, verse 27, and who of you by worrying and being anxious can add 1 unit of measure to his stature or to the span of his life? What good is worrying going to do you other than just spinning your wheels, taking up time and space in your mind? Stop worrying about even one thing, but in everything. And I love this. By prayer, whose essence is that of worship and devotion. The essence of the prayer. So the spirit of the prayer is of worship and devotion. Worship, and we talk about perspective so much, but when we are before the Father in a spirit of worship or a spirit of praise, when we are magnifying Him, when we are exalting Him, then that puts everything else on the back burner. It de-magnifies everything else. So those things which were so big and those worries, those things that we would be anxious about or that we would worry about, because us spinning our wheels will add life to us. No. Matthew 6:27. Who of you by worrying and being anxious can add 1 cubit of measure to his stature or to the span of his life? So we worship. Our prayer is that of the spirit of worship and devotion. And it says, and by supplication. So supplication, which is a cry for your personal needs. Stop worrying about even one thing, but in everything, by prayer whose essence is that of worship and devotion, and by supplication, which is a cry for your personal things, with thanksgiving, let your request for the things asked be made known in the presence of God. Devotion, I do want to stop for just a moment there because that kind of jumped out at me. He is our source, our only source. I think about the old song, totally devoted to you. Okay, that means nobody else, nothing else. There's not even anyone close. There's not a second place. You alone, God. So with a prayer whose spirit is of worship and devotion, that you are my supply. You are my source. You are my Father. You are my caretaker. You are the one who affectionately and watchfully cares about me. Then make a request by supplication, which is a cry for your personal needs. With thanksgiving, let your request for the things asked be made known in the presence of God. Again, that act of thanksgiving, knowing that He who promised is faithful, that He's going to take care of our needs, that we have His word on it. We call Him on His word. And really, it's a reminder to ourselves, not a reminder to God. He has already bridged the gap. He's already set things right. He's put us in right standing because of Jesus Christ. There is full and complete access to Him and His throne room. What more could you need than could come from the throne room? So we remind ourselves that we have His word of Him taking care of us. And so we, with thanksgiving, let our requests for the things asked for be made known in the presence of God. And so we are well over 5 minutes today, so we will pick up here again tomorrow. I will see you then. Bye, y'all.